Joe, let me ask you this: the NBA, they're not testing marijuana for the whole 2021 season. What's your thoughts on that?
First of all, shout out to drugs for winning the war on drugs. Uh, it's ridiculous that marijuana is a class one drug. For those of you who aren't familiar, class one drug means that it is has no
Narcotic.
medical purposes and it's harmful. So that's like
Yeah.
um, meth and
Narcotic.
cocaine. Yeah. So it's ridiculous that it's a class one drug at all. Um, it'll help players with pain management. It's not performance enhancing. Um, I think it's great that they're not testing for it. I think every major sport should follow their path.
What do you think, Craig?
I agree. Something that should have been done a long time ago. Has a lot of medicinal purposes. Like Joe said, it's not like a PPD or like a steroid or something like that. So it's not going to enhance your game as far as making you, as far as like in baseball, swing the ball or swing the bat faster or have more power and things like that. It's not going to do that for you. So I don't see the reason in prolonging this. They might as well just go ahead and make it for at least until the next CBA comes up, and then just leave it at that, and then just keep adding it in every time. So this is something that should have been done a long time ago, and it should be done, like I said, going forward. So,
Hey Mo. Hey Mo. Quick question. All right.
Yeah.
The NBA said no marijuana. They're not testing players for marijuana the whole 2021 NBA season. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like it's tied into this coronavirus. Because let's be honest here, if it wasn't no coronavirus and we weren't going through this pandemic, do you think they would have these same rules? We really sit here and say they would have these same rules. So I think what they're saying is we're already going to get these players with these corona tests. Do we sit here and now give them marijuana tests too? Like the NBA is basically saying we're going to sit apart now and say we're not going to double test these players because already we got enough problems on our hands trying to do corona tests or day in and day out or week in and week out or whatever. So now do we sit here and do marijuana tests on top of it? Because think about it for a second. No matter what, you make money. You might not make as much money, but you still make money out of this. Even if you don't put no fans in stands or whatever, you're still making money out of this. So if we're going to sit here and do COVID-19 tests and sit here and do marijuana tests, you want to lose a lot of stuff here.
Yeah.
So I think it was a money move. Yeah. I mean, they're not going to say it out loud, but it was a money move.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's an interesting take. Wow, I didn't think about it like that. I definitely think they just should have been did it. I mean, I've heard stories not talking to former players, but what former players say on the podcast. I mean, Allen Iverson said it one day. There was like, how many players smoke in the league? He was like, they asked him what percentage of players smoke in the league. He was like, the speed limit. So, I mean, I think it's been here. I don't think it's going anywhere. Shout out to the House. They just passed a law to get marijuana off the narcotics list. So, hopefully, marijuana is legalized. I mean, at this point, it's so many states that have it. I don't know what we're waiting for. It's not. It's harmless and it's used for medicinal purposes. You go in a grocery store now. So now you got CBD, which is a byproduct, but it just doesn't have the THC, right? I think, right?
Yeah, the THC is the psychoactive part of it.
So they take that out, and a lot of people like that. But a lot of people also like it with the THC. It's Ron Artest said it best. He said the CBD keeps him up and working. The THC is more relaxive. So when he wants to relax, that's when he'll, But anyway, all right. So let's. I'm gonna start out with you, Mo. NFL. Do you think the NFL should not test for marijuana? Oh shit. Hey Mo. Oh, he probably. I'm about to ask him.
Uh, I mean, you gotta stay consistent. For them to not do it anymore
Yeah.
would be kind of rough for them not doing it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, if you consistently done it as far as right now, you gotta keep doing it. But I feel like with the NBA doing what they're doing and not doing it, but still doing COVID tests, I wouldn't be against the NFL doing it because of the fact that I feel like the NFL is at more risk than the NBA as far as this COVID. So
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily be against it, but
Mhm.
right now it feels like if you're gonna stop it, how do you go back to testing? So if you stop and say, "Oh, we're gonna stop marijuana testing," and then when people find a vaccine, this COVID goes away, oh, we're gonna go back to marijuana testing, it would just be a whole issue. So
Okay.
I
So
feel
you're
like
saying
you
that.
got to decide what fence you want to play on.
Okay. Craig, what do you think, Craig? NFL. Think they should?
I think they should stop it. Just stop testing in general, all the way around, as far as marijuana goes. Like they shouldn't. And if the NBA, like I said, the NBA should start doing it this year and then just keep it going until the next CBA, and then just decide again if you want to re up on that issue, or do you want to just go back to testing again? If you have like, depends on what they like as far as the results go, or they see whatever's going on, they see something that they don't like. Same thing with the NFL. I think they should get away from that and then just make it in the CBA and say, okay, we're not going to test for marijuana anymore until the next CBA is up, and then we're going to go negotiate it again and blah blah blah. Just do it that way. Like if you stop now, stop testing now, then you make it like a standard to the point where, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're not going to do. Like we're not going to test anymore. So feel free to go out and smoke weed if you want to. Like it is what it is, and as long as it doesn't interfere with your gameplay, which you most likely won't. Like you can just go ahead and just feel free to do that on your free time. But you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know why. I can understand what the like with the COVID issue, but if you just make it to the point where okay, we're going to test for COVID this year, and then when they find a vaccine, we're still not going to test for marijuana. We're just not going to do it anymore. Then that's just standard that you set. I don't know how they can change the rule or when they can change it, like the NBA just did. I guess they can just implement it at any time, but I don't know. I just want to see what else is going to happen, but I would just change it.
All right. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, so to Craig's point, I think the NFL could propose a rule change, and then the NFL Player Association would just have to agree with it. And I can't see any reason why they would deny removing marijuana testing. But yeah, it should be removed. It's decriminalized in the majority of states, so even the government's not making a deal out of it. It's less harmful to your body than alcohol. It's not performance enhancing. Yes, they should stop testing immediately and forever.
Yeah, I think the same thing. Like I just it's time, right? It's time. It's not, and a couple former players, like a lot of, especially some NFL players. I know Calvin Johnson said his body hurts. It's just the NFL is so demanding, and NBA and Major League Baseball. Being an athlete in general is demanding on people's bodies and their mental. I tell people this all the time, like, man, it's easy for us to say because we can, get up and go to work. Like they have to get up, work out, hit film session, and then you have to deal with the media, us, right? Then you have to deal with if you have an injury, right? You don't want to get the label injury prone, and you're doing everything right. So and then when you're injured, you're working out. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for NFL players and NBA players. A lot of them play through injuries. To just play through injuries. So I don't see how marijuana is an issue. I just think it's okay. I mean, alcohol is more dangerous for your body at this point. I just I don't see an issue with it. I think they just need to stop testing, and I mean, if the House just passed a bill saying that they're trying to take it off the narcotic list, like Joe said, and if it goes to Congress and Congress signs off on it, at that point they're just going to start taxing it because it's going to be legalized everywhere. It just, I mean, at this point it makes sense. Why not? Everybody wins. Government makes money, and people get to smoke. Businesses, I mean, that's what it is.